Good evening, everyone. Buenas noches a todos. Mi nombre es José Calderón, and I'm a co-host of Que Viva la Música with Vicky Sola on 89.1 FM and the Mambo Machine on WKCR 89.9 FM in New York. Welcome to Conversaciones Música, hosted by Ostos Center for the Arts and Culture. We are fortunate to share this evening with Pete Bonet, an important luminary of our music for over half a century, who has shared the stage and recorded with many of the top performers of Latin musical history. He also contributed heavily with the promotion of events that aided in the popularity of bands, documenting many important details in his autobiography we'll discuss throughout the presentation. An integral part of Ostos Community College of the City University of New York since 1982, the Ostos Center for the Arts and Culture is a resource for students and faculty and serves the cultural needs of South Bronx residents and neighboring communities. The Ostos Centers for the Arts and Culture is recognized nationally as a leader in Latino and African-based programming and is dedicated to the development of emerging artists and the creation of new work. Ostos Center events are sponsored by the Ostos Community College Foundation with funds from the National Endowment for the Arts, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs in partnership with the City Council, the Coalition of Theaters of Color, the New York State Council on the Arts with the support of Governor Andrew M. Cuomo and the New York State Legislature, the Howard Gilman Foundation, the New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation, the Office of New York State Assemblyman Jose Rivera, and the Office of New York City Council Member Rafael Salamanca Jr. Visit the Ostos Center website at www.ostoscenter.org to learn more and to view upcoming online events. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there is no doubt that New York has been the epicenter for the development of Afro-Caribbean music. Many musicians flocked from their homelands to arrive to this place of opportunities. Although the uncertainty may have been on the back of their minds, and a few could not be a perfect puzzle piece to this jigsaw, a grand majority made their names and forged legacies in the city that never sleeps. Speaking of sleepless nights, many enjoyed the nocturnal life that helped many of the names be so intense to our lives and across the globe. Those nightclubs of the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s have rocked New York City, particularly Manhattan and the Bronx, without overlooking the other boroughs. 6 of the 7 days in a week gave the opportunity to establish dance halls that became practically second homes to dancers and aficionados. From the Hunts Point Palace to Casablanca, from Latin Quarters to Club Broadway, from the Palladium Ballroom to Chez Jose, to name just a few, will evoke memories of an unforgettable era we truly long for. One nightclub located at 205 East 86th Street off of 3rd Avenue stood out as being uniquely the new home of Latin music, the Corso. Acquired by Tony Ramon in 1968. As stated by musicologist Max Salazar in his book, Mambo Kingdom, ever feel blue, lonely, and don't know what to do? If your answer is yes, visit the Corso any Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday evening. No matter what your problem is, once you pass through the portals of the Corso, the typical music will infect you and enable you to escape from your problems for a few hours. Something different is always happening. Someone is always getting infected. How we truly yearn those glorious times and these questionable times we live in. To understand a broader viewpoint of these magnificent moments in history, I have the privileged honor to share this evening with a respected trailblazer of our music. To his list of accomplishments, we add a visionary, entrepreneur, renowned Latin vocalist of Mambo and Salsa pioneer with over 50 legendary greats, and recently an author. Dear friends, please effusively receive Mr. Pete Bonet. We'll begin with a review of the Corso. Pete, how are you?
Saludos, Jose. How are you? I'm fine, man. I'm so happy to see you, and happy to talk to New Yorkers and everybody in the world. You know,
Absolutely.
and, that was great. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. We have a lot to talk about, but for now, right now, what we're going to do is we're going to take a pause and watch just a brief clip on your book and on the history of the Corso. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're working with the technicalities, but we're here with Pete. That's the most important thing. Pete, this is your evening.
Thank you, Jose. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Pete, let's start talking about your life. Let's talk about the origin of Pete Bonet in Puerto Rico. Talk a little bit about that, please.
Well, Jose, I'm from Santurce, Puerto Rico. I was born there, and I lived in a very, very, very poor part of the island in Santurce, Puerto Rico. It was called El Fanguito, the muddy, because the houses were built on the mud by a river, and today they call it the bay. And whenever it rained a lot, it would get flooded, and the rain would come up even to the floor of the houses. The houses were built wood houses with sink tops, and that's where I was born. And I lived there until I was 15 and a half. But I put on shoes, Jose, when I was 8 years old. We were so poor. My father had left my mom. My mom has six. I was number four. And my father left when I was 6 years old. And so they said my mother was gonna die and we were gonna die. And my mother said, nobody's gonna die here. And she brought us up, and she did it very well. And she made us go to school. But I couldn't go to school until I was 8 years old because I had no shoes. And it was terrible. I remember, I never forget the lady next door to us, almost window to window. And she was a black woman, a black Puerto Rican, and she had a big family. And this lady would knock on the, Doña Olga, Doña Olga. She would call out the window and says, what? And my mother would answer. And I knew we were gonna eat because this lady would say, I cooked too much food and I don't know what to do with it. Can I give it to you? And my mother said, of course. And I feel like crying right now. And that was a long time ago. But she would hand us food over the window, and we knew we were gonna eat, you know? And I never forget the lady, never. She's in my heart, she's in my mind. And she was a dear black woman, I loved her. And we knew we were gonna eat every time she called out. So that's where I was. And I started school at 8 years old because Doña Felisa Rincón de Gautier, the mayor of San Juan, she brought a truck full of shoes to, and they were black and brown, and they were ugly shoes. Not only that, they were so thick, you know, the sole and it was so thick, you walk like Frankenstein, you know? They would never bend. I mean, there was nothing that would go through those shoes, and they would last a long time. And so I would put on the shoes to go to school, and the school was like maybe half a mile away. I walked to the school, but as soon as I get to the train tracks, I would take off my shoes, and then I would walk to the school. And just before I go to the school inside, I would put on the shoes. You know, I was used to walking barefooted. So I came to New York. I was 15 and a half. My mother brought us to New York, and thank God, you know. And I started school in PS 88 in 88th Street and 3rd Avenue in Manhattan.
What year was this that you came in?
I came in 1954.
Wow.
I was born in 1938.
Okay.
So in 1954, March 20th, 1954, never forget it. I came to New York. I had no luggage. I only had the clothes that I had on. I never been inside a car. So they took me to the car, to the plane, and I was flabbergasted. I said, oh my God, I'm in a plane. You know, I couldn't believe it. I felt like Superman, you know. And I got to New York, to 110th Street on Lexington Avenue. That's where I went to live in New York. And we were there a short time, but I started school, it was March, and I started just before the summer. They put me in the 8th grade. Can you imagine? I was almost 16 and they put me in the 8th grade. So, you know, the story short, I graduated when I was 21 years old. I graduated from high school. The first one in my family to graduate from high school. And but it was great because I never forget in PS 88, I couldn't speak English, you know. So the teacher, I never forget, the English teacher came in and he sat down and the kids were, you know, playing and throwing things at each other and screaming and talking and all that. And the teacher just sat there and all of a sudden he punched the desk. Boom! He punched the desk and he said, okay, he says, everybody be quiet. I'm gonna talk now, and anybody that talks, I'm gonna kick your butt.
Oh my gosh.
Just like that. And he says, is anybody here wants to fight with me right now? And this black kid, you know, got up. He was as tall as the teacher. And he got up there and the teacher kicked his butt. I mean, he knew karate and he beat the shit out of this kid, you know? I'm sorry to say it that way, but that's the way it happened.
Expression, it's what you went through.
Beat it, and from there on, everybody was quiet in that room. That's it. I learned English real quick.
Oh, I understand why.
Yeah, you understand why. He wouldn't take no nothing. He wouldn't take no crap from nobody. And so it was good. It was good. And I'm glad about that. And anyway, so I went to high school, and my sister asked me, she says, what do you want to study? And I said, I remember, I said, in 21st Street in Puerto Rico, and the people that were there, they were working in an office. What were they? She says, well, they either was secretaries or they were bookkeepers. And I said, well, they look like they made a lot of money because they had a suit and tie. I said, that's what I want to be.
Oh, wow.
A bookkeeper.
But wait a minute, you wanted to be a bookkeeper, but was music in your mind at any point in this time or no?
Oh, no, I had a terrible time with music because when I was 12, okay, I'm going back now to Puerto Rico. When I was 12 years old, they took me to a radio station because I loved to sing and I knew a lot of songs. And they took me to a show. Quiñones Vidal had a radio show in WKCR every Sunday, I think it was, and they called it La Pesetita Voladora, the flying quarter. And if you could finish the song, they wouldn't give you a quarter. They give you a lot of food, a lot of una compra, you know. and then you would sing every Sunday, and you would be a star, you know. They took me there because I was 12 years old and I wanted to sing, you know. So I got on the line. It was a line. A lot of guys were singing, you know, going up to sing. And the microphone was so high, the big microphone. And the guy kept saying to me, he says, "Oh, this boy, he's dressed up like this and dressed up like that. And he knows a lot of songs and he's going to sing now." And every time he kept talking, I kept getting more nervous. And they put me on top of a box to reach the microphone. I was so small, and they asked me, "What are you gonna sing?" And my mind was a blank.
Oh, wow.
I couldn't remember one song, and they kept saying, "But one song, anything, come on." And I started to cry. So all my friends in El Fanguito, in the muddy, was hearing me cry on the microphone.
Oh,
I didn't even want to go back home. So music was out of my mind from there on. I said, "I'll never sing again. Don't ask me. I'll kill you if you ask me to sing." You know, so that was out of my mind. Okay. So I'm in New York. I graduated from high school. I went to Central Commercial High School. And let me tell you, Central Commercial High School is right next, it's on 42nd Street, right next to the Time and Life building. Okay. And I used to go into the Time and Life building. They had a sphere, the whole world, and it would turn, you know, right in the lobby. They had a big ball. The sphere was right there. And I was looking for Puerto Rico. I couldn't find it. I looked for Puerto Rico for 2 weeks. The first thing I saw was Africa. I said, "That's Puerto Rico." "Oh no, it says Africa." I said, "That's where Tarzan is." Okay, you know, but I kept looking at big lands and I couldn't find Puerto Rico. And it took me 2 weeks. And when I found Puerto Rico, I said, "No, it can't be. So small. Puerto Rico is big, you know? No, it can't be." But I was disappointed to see Puerto Rico so small there, you know, in the world. And but I learned about the equator, and I learned about where Africa was and all that, the United States, you know. And but they didn't want to accept me in high school because I couldn't speak English too well. So I told my sister, "Tell them that to give me the test. And if I don't pass the test, then I go home. But tell him to give me the test." I said, "But he can't pass the test." I passed the test. So I started in Central Commercial High School. I graduated with honors with business law and with honors in bookkeeping. I had a 97 in bookkeeping when I graduated. I was 21 years old, Jose. I was 21 years old. But, you know, my mother always wanted us to study. That's it, dear. You got to study. You got to study. Got to study. Nobody's going to give you anything. I mean, if you have a disabled body and you have something wrong with your body, they'll give you millions of dollars. But if your mind is good and your body is good, nobody's going to give you nothing. You got to study. And I'll begin to say this to all my friends that are watching. You got to study. You got to put your kids to study. And if you're still a kid, you got to study. Okay, that's it.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
Okay?
It's incredible what you've gone through. And I want to show a video in a minute, but I want you to let us know, when did the music start becoming important in your life?
Well, like I said, I didn't want to sing anymore. Okay. But I love singing. So what happened was I went into the Air Force. I took the test. When I graduated at 21, I went to my dean and I said, you know, I don't know what to do. And he says, he said, "Why don't you join the Air Force? And you know, you're very good on, you could type 60 words a minute without errors. You know all the machines, you know all the the machines of the times, and you could go into administration, and you'll be good in the Air Force, you know." So I joined the Air Force, and I passed the test. I even took the test to be a pilot.
Wow.
And I failed by 6 points. But I took the test. The guy was surprised. He said, you're very good, but you failed by 6 points, So, but I joined the Air Force, and guess what?
What's up?
The prejudice, I was a Puerto Rican, they made me a cook in the Air Force.
Yeah.
They made me a cook. But God is great. But a lot of things happened after that, which I'll be telling you. But anyway, I was a very angry and sad airman because I didn't want to be a cook. And I was the only one out of 600 guys that graduated at that time in Texas. And when they said, Pedro Bonet Harris, Food Service Squadron, I raised my hand, and my hand was the only hand in the whole auditorium, 6,000 guys in there, 600 guys in there, and my hand is up there. And, and they said, Airman Bonet Harris, what do you want? I said, I don't want to be a cook. I didn't come here to be a cook. And we'll talk to you later. And they liked me anyway, but that's a story that I'll be telling you about. But I became a cook. But when I got back to New York, I went to the Palladium. I used to go dancing everywhere that I could. The Bronx Music Palace, Gloria Palace, the Hunts Point Palace, the Palladium especially. I would be dancing, And one day I went to the Bronx Palace, and I see this friend of mine singing with Alfredito Valdez. Alfredito Valdez, the brother of Vicentico Valdez, he had a charanga orchestra. You know what the charanga is, right? They should have two singers, and they sing in unison. So anyway, he was the only one singing, And I said to him, I said, hey, I didn't know you was a singer. He said, yeah, I've been singing for about 6 months with Alfredito. I said, well, look, I like to sing, so here's my number in case, you guys need, because I see that you're singing alone. So in case they need somebody else, let me know, I like it. And they call me. I was surprised they called me. But again, things that got in the way, they wanted me to sing December 16. It was 1961, and they wanted me to sing December 16. And I had married Margie, my wife Margie. I had met her in the Hunts Point Palace, and we decided to get married on December 16.
Oh.
So I went to Margie and I said, Margie, I said, do you mind if we could move the wedding, because they called me to sing. They got two dance with the band that day, December 16th. And she said, if you go singing, forget about me.
Oh my God.
It. Forget about the wedding, So I had to cancel going with Alfredito. And I said, they're never going to call me. They're never going to call me because I canceled it, my first dance, and I'm canceling. And so they called me again. They called me in January 1962. And that's when I started singing with Alfredito Valdez.
Wow. Well, you're going to hold the thought. We're going to continue developing. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Pete Bonet with us, and we're going to show a great video, a historic video of Pete Bonet singing and presented by el maestro, el rey del timbal, Tito Puente. Let's enjoy this video.
Okay, let's bring on some, now they call it salsa. So we're going to present to you our invited guest artist, a vocalist in a typical salsa number entitled Complicación, Mr. Pete Bonet.
La
Ladies and gentlemen, we were just enjoying this wonderful historic video of Pete Bonet being presented by El Maestro Tito Puente. Pete, tell us a little bit about this presentation and tell us how you met and got to work with El Maestro Tito Puente.
It's incredible. It's incredible. One thing is that Tito Puente never presented anybody, you know. He was the king of Latin music, you know, that's it. He had Vicentico Valdez, Gilberto Monroy, La Lupe, Celia Cruz, you know, so he didn't have to introduce this guy here, Pete Bonet, but he did. And he admitted, I don't know if you heard him say, for the first time, he said, now they call it salsa. You know, it was great. But Tito Puente and I knew each other. He played at the Corso when I had the Corso. This was after the Corso, after I left the Corso. So Tito Puente and I knew each other. And when I had the band with Louie Ramírez, we played a lot together. And I even got billings of the Tito Puente once, and it's there in the book. It's in the book.
Ladies and gentlemen, I was going to mention it later, but you made a mention of it now. Ladies and gentlemen, this book recently translated in English, El Corso, the Corso, you know, by Pete Bonet. We're going to talk about it more throughout the conversation, okay. Pete. Talk a little bit about Louie Ramírez.
Oh, Louie Ramírez, my neighbor, my friend. He baptized my daughter Lisa. He's, you know, he's godfather to my daughter, to our daughter. And so Louie Ramírez, when I left Ray Barretto, I called Louie Ramírez and I said, compadre, I said, you know, I left Ray Barretto, and why don't we, you and I make a little band? He said, Pete, you got the Corso, and you're the one that does everything in the Corso, so why don't we make a big band? So we made a big band just like Tito Puente, in the style, you know, the Machito, Tito Rodriguez, and Tito Puente. So Louie Ramírez and I started working together. Now, my friend and the godfather to my daughter and then I found out that this Louie Ramírez, I didn't even know he was so great. I knew he was a timbal player, but he's a genius. This guy is a genius. He played piano, he played organ, he could play timbales. He's a great arranger. He's a composer. Right. Louie Ramírez was a genius, and we did 2 albums together. I got him right here.
Show him.
I got him right here because you want to see it.
There you go. That's it.
Put them together. We did
the odds are in, and Pete and Louie. That's right. Raise it up a little more, a little more, a little more. Up. There you go. There you go. A little glassy, good. Very good.
It's right there.
Wonderful albums.
You know, and but we had such a good band that I got billing of a Tito Puente. We were playing at the Hunka Monka in Queens, and the New York Post came out, said, this Saturday or this Wednesday, or I forgot the date, it said, Pete Bonet and Tito Puente. Tito says, wait, they violated my contract. I'm not going to go there. I said, Tito, you got to go because I'm going to kick your butt. I mean, my band is better than yours. He said, your band is better than mine? Okay, I'm going to go, and I'm going to kick your butt. And he did.
Pete, tell us about how the Corso got its start and your involvement with it.
Okay. My brother Julio and I had the round table on Sundays. The round table was on Sundays, and Tony Ramone would come in. And we opened it. We opened in 1967, the round table, and Tony Ramone would come in every Sunday and tell me, "Hey Pete, so I got a club. I want you to see it, and we could do some business together." And I said, "Hey, I'm too busy, man. I can't. You know, I'm working with Ray Barretto. I'm singing with Ray Barretto, and I got this club here, and I got no time. You know." And he would come every Sunday with the same thing. And then I started to have trouble with the owner of the round table. And I went to see the Corso. And I went on a Saturday. And then when I walked in there, Tony Raimondi was so happy to see me. Pete, oh man, look, you know. And I said, wow. I said, look at this club. It looks like the Palladium. It was the same thing with great dance floor, a big stage for the band, you know. And I said, oh my God. I said, you know, okay, Tony, we could do some business. And he says, oh, what are you gonna do? He says, oh, the following Sunday, we could start here. He said, what about the round table? And I said, the round table's too small for me. There's too many people going in there and we got no room. We wanna move here because the Corso could hold 1,200 people. So, you know, I says, this is it, you know, and then we open on Wednesday. He said, Wednesday, there's nobody here Saturday and you're gonna open Wednesday? So you want me to do it for you? You let me do it, okay? He says, okay, whatever you want, Pete. Just don't mention my name. Just it's Pete Bonet presents and that's it. So, and that's what it was. I was announcing, I started the course on a Sunday and then before you know it, we open on Wednesday. And then Friday and Saturday, and the Corso became #1 club. I used to announce it on Symphony Sid with Dick Ricardo Sugar. I would have it on the Diario La Prensa. I would have it on the New York Post, you know. So the Corso became #1 club in New York.
Absolutely, absolutely.
#1. Even the guy from London came into the Corso to write about it, and he wrote about the Corso. And Rick and Karen found the writing. Rick and Karen did.
Really?
Yeah,
really?
My friends Rick and Karen, they brought that to me. Says, look, Pete, and the guy wrote about the Corso, you know, in England. So the Corso was so famous all over the world.
Absolutely, absolutely. And with the Corso, you were able to make a lot of friends. I'm going to show a video coming up next of you with some of your good friends from El Gran Combo presenting Pete Bonet. Let's go to that video.
God.
Yes, let's go to that video.
Vamos a invitar a un gran amigo mío que no sabía que estaba esta noche y me dijo, Rafa, yo he cantado con el último El Gran Combo muy pocas veces, pero me gustaría cantar un número con usted. Y yo le dije, ¿por qué no? Si usted es parte de la cosa, si va a cantar un número que es un tren más de gran gusto. Me refiero al señor Pete Bonet.
Sí, a diablo, pa.
Y bueno, yo quiero que cante con nosotros. No creo que ustedes conozcan, pero van a cantar con él.
El gran combo de Puerto Rico.
Pete Bonet. Bien. Le mando una pregunta ahora. Una preguntita.
Wonderful, wonderful presentation of Pete Bonet sharing with his friends from El Gran Combo. And continuing, we're going to present one of your cameo friends that are here with us this evening. He's a musician, a very close friend of yours. He's shared the stage with you in recent years and occasions with his Orquesta Guarachando, established in New Jersey for public and private presentations. We'll learn more about his experiences with you and his own experiences as well. Ladies and gentlemen, let me present to you Mr. Elvin Ariel Ortiz.
Hey, how you doing, guys? How you doing, Jose? How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing?
Aquí contento. I'm very happy to be over here, tonight. I just saw the video with my good friend and maestro Pete Bonet. It's amazing. He did such a great job with that song, with a Gran Combo. Absolutely. Amazing. Pete, you are the man, Pete.
Thank you, Ariel. Love you, man.
That was very good. It was a great song. What's that, Jose?
Ariel, when do you meet Pete? Did you know of Pete before you met him? Tell us about that encounter and tell us how you knew about Pete.
Okay, so I knew about Pete, just the name. Just the name, of course, he's a legend. So I knew just the name. But what happened was that me and Pete, we used the same bank, TD Bank. So okay. One day I'm going to TD Bank to do something, and one of the teller, he knew that I was a musician. So he says to me, he said, "Oh, listen, there was a guy here." That's when I guess Pete was doing something, when I guess he was doing something for the book. Mm-hmm. So he says, his name is Pete Bonet. I said, "Yeah, Pete Bonet. It sounds familiar," but so he said, so anyway, just to give you the story real short, I said to him, I said, "If you see him, give him my number, so I could speak to him." Sure enough, he gave Pete the number. Pete called me. I think it was like the second or third day he called me, and we spoke for the first time. Now, of course, you could imagine the way I felt having Pete on the other side. And the other side was like, "Oh my God, I'm talking to this guy," And so we talked for a little while. And so I said to him, I said, "Pete, so I could see you, let's meet each other." And I think it was that weekend I was going to play over here in Edison, Havana Central. So I said to him, I said, "Pete, if you want to go over there, so I could meet you, we could have a good, you could sing with me, whatever." So he said, "Yeah." So sure enough, he went over there with his beautiful wife, Margarita. And that's when we met for the first time physically. And I'm telling you, it was a blessing. It's still a blessing knowing Pete. And we talk frequently, many times. Sometimes I get things of music and he says, "Let's take it easy." And he gives me the consejo, you know what I mean?
Of course.
He's amazing. He's amazing. I don't know what to say about Pete. He's just amazing.
I think he's getting a little emotional. I think he's getting a little emotional. Pete, tell us how you feel about Ariel, your friendship with him, please.
Oh, we love Ariel and his wife Mari, and we have become so close. And every time he's gonna play someplace, we go there, we go see him, and we enjoy it. We just go there to enjoy it and to enjoy his group because he's a great singer. And then he also invites me to come up and sing a song or two with him, and I'll do that. I do that. And he doesn't pay me. He doesn't want to pay me.
Jose, but let me tell you something. He says I'm a great singer, right? So could you imagine if you playing, right? And then all of a sudden people, when they come and sing, how can you sing after that? You know what I'm saying? So I love when he comes and he play and he sings. And listen, he knows sometimes I sit down and I'll be like, go ahead, go to just pick another song, man. I mean, I'm enjoying him playing. And the guys, they love him. They love him. Especially when he likes to play what's the name of that song, the bolero? Como Fue.
Oh wow.
I mean, I'm telling you, this guy, he plays that song like he wrote it.
I could imagine. But you know what? We're going to enjoy a video of you two performing together. So why don't
Oh, yeah?
we sit back and enjoy this video?
All
What do you
right, cool.
All
Chévere.
right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back from that presentation. Talk a little bit about that presentation, Ariel.
Well, obviously that was Christmas. That was, I believe that was last year. I was playing and people when they came to hang out with us. And once again, there's no way I could see Pete and not let him sing. First of all, I have to say something about Pete. Pete loves singing. He just loves singing. That guy was born to sing. Everywhere, anywhere that we go to hang out, he wants to sing.
I know, that's true.
And yeah, listen, I don't blame him. Yeah, and it's a blessing. It's a blessing if he goes. The other day we went to La Palma, and I know he wanted to sing there, but there was ¿cómo se puede decir? That wasn't the spot that night to do it. But we went to hang out in Patterson, and he sang, and Tito Allen was there too. We were hanging out all together. And Pete Bonet, he was doing the show, man. I'm telling you, he was just doing the show. He's amazing. Pete Bonet is amazing, and I'm a fan of him. And I have to say, look, I got his book.
That's the Spanish version. That one is called. I also have it too. That's La Verdadera Historia en la Salsa.
Exactly. And I tell you something, Jose. This is a great, great, great book. I think in my whole life, I must have read maybe 6, 7 books, and all the books that I read is about music. I also have the CDs, his CDs.
Vaya.
I got this one too.
Vaya.
I'm telling you, I love him. And I also got this. Look, check it out, papi. Check this out.
Wow, what a beautiful picture of Pete Bonet and Tito Rodriguez. Pete, tell us a little bit about your relationship, your friendship with El Maestro Tito Rodriguez.
Oh my goodness. Oh, let me tell you first, when I met Margie, guess who was playing? I wasn't in the music. I just came out of the Air Force and I met Margie in the Huntsman Palace, and Tito Rodriguez was playing when I fell in love with my wife. We're still together 58 years later, but Tito Rodriguez called me at the house one day, okay? Now, you got Louie Ramírez, you got Manny Corchado, and you got Caco. These 3 guys could imitate anybody. There's 3 musicians that were crazy. They would call you and you would think, they would say, oh, this is Tito Puente. And you think it was Tito Puente because Louie Ramírez could imitate anybody. He imitated Pacheco, he imitated Jerry Masucci, anybody. Anyway, so my wife picks up the phone and I'm not gonna say the word, but she said, there's this guy, it's written in the book. It says, there's this guy saying he's Tito Rodriguez, you know? And I said, oh, it must be Louie Ramírez or one of these guys, you know? And I answered the phone and he said, Pete, it's Tito Rodriguez. Tell your wife it's Tito Rodriguez. And I said, Maggie, it's Tito Rodriguez, you know? So he called me at the house and he says, you wanna sing with me? And I said, do I wanna sing with my idol? My goodness, I got so sick that my stomach went, I had to go to the bathroom real fast. And Tito Rodriguez said, Pete, we're rehearsing tomorrow. It was a Wednesday, we're rehearsing Thursday, and we're playing Friday at Casa Borinquen in Brooklyn. And so I started singing with Tito Rodriguez. And he would sing like 4 songs or 5 songs, and he would say, Pete, you sing now, you know? So I would sing a song like every 4th or 5 songs that he would sing, I would sing one. And but I learned all his music, I learned all his songs, and it got to be after a while when Tito Rodriguez got sick. He was sick already, but he had leukemia and he was getting blood transfusions every 2 weeks, and he got real bad. And he was at the Madison Square Garden. He was going to be there with Machito backing him up. I wasn't in the show. I was just backstage with Tito Rodriguez, and was great because Tito Rodriguez was so sick. We never thought that he would come out. And they gave him some pills and he went out and sang. And all of a sudden, this guy came out and sang so good. Nobody thought that he was sick. You know, everybody thought Tito Rodriguez was okay. He was dying, but he came out and sang. And at the end, he did this song. He says, and he did it at Live. He says, ha llegado la hora que entristece mi alma. Ha llegado la hora de tener que partir. Es así mi destino. Siempre vive conmigo. Y al oído se acerca y me dice que me tengo que ir. Y al oído se acerca y me dice que me tengo que ir. Chao. He was saying goodbye because he knew he was going to die. Me tengo que ir. Absolutely. He wasn't saying because he was leaving the stage, he was going to die and he knew it. He had leukemia and he couldn't hold the transfusions, the blood transfusions. He couldn't hold it. It was coming out and he was losing all the blood transfusions. And then he called me and he said, Pete, he says, well, we had a gig at in Queens. And he said, Pete, you're going to sing for me because I can't make it. And I started to cry when he told me that because I knew my friend was going to leave. He was going to die. And he's telling me to sing for him. Now, can you imagine Tito Rodriguez is telling me to sing for him? And when I got to the club, the band was already there. And the owner told me, he says, oh, hi, Pete, where's Tito Rodriguez? I told him, Tito Rodriguez is not coming. He says, you're kidding. What do you mean Tito Rodriguez is not coming? The band is here. I said, yeah, the band is here. I'm here, but Tito Rodriguez is not coming. He's sick, and he might not last a week. And he says, get out of here. I said, the people are going to kill my club. They're going to break my club. He says, don't worry about it. Tito Rodriguez gave me a message for everybody. And you just introduce Tito Rodriguez and his orchestra, okay? Don't worry about it. You give me the mic and we'll take care of that, okay? And they did that. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Tito Rodriguez, and the band was already on stage. I came out, I took the mic and I said to the people, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Tito Rodriguez is not coming. And there was like a complete silence all of a sudden in the club. The club was full of people. The owner told me, if anybody wants to leave, tell them that I'll give them the money back. I don't want them to break up my club. So I told him, I said, ladies and gentlemen, Tito Rodriguez is not coming. Tito Rodriguez is very bad, is very sick in the hospital, and he might not make it. We might not see him again, but he wants to let you know that he knows that you people are here for him, and he loves you all, and he doesn't want you to forget his music. He told me to tell you, please don't forget his music. Don't forget him. And I told the story, I told the message that Tito Rodriguez gave me to everybody there. And then at the end, I said, when ladies and gentlemen, anybody that wants to leave, you just go there and get your money back. The owner of the club is going to give you the money back. So you just go get your money. Okay, if you want to leave. But here is Tito Rodriguez and his orchestra. And Victor Paz, the trumpet player, was leading the band. And we started with Mama Abuela. And we did Los Hijos de Belén, Los Muchachos de Belén, El Sabio. And I sang all the songs.
All his hits, all his hits.
The owner told me nobody left.
There you go.
Nobody left.
There you go.
It was a great night.
That's a beautiful.
And it's all written in the book.
Absolutely. A beautiful, beautiful story. You were getting ready to present your beautiful wife, Margie.
Oh, come here, baby. Come here, baby. That's my baby here. Well, you know,
Mira quién está
Margie,
ahí.
there she is.
Ay, ¿cómo está? Oye, sí, eso es trampa, me está haciendo trampa. Porque ahora tú tienes una mujer bien linda lo tuyo.
That's his show. He's allowed to do that and much more. Margie, welcome to our conversation.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about Pete in your own words.
Oh my goodness. He's a great guy. He makes me laugh. He's funny. He loves me. And he helps me a lot and everything. And well, I love the way he is because he's charming, he's joyful, he's happy, it's everything that a woman likes.
That's wonderful. Let's give him applause. Give him applause, everyone. Thank you, Margie. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, you're going to stay there by his side or around him while we continue with our conversation. Pete, we have a lot of people watching, and we want to thank each and every one of them. I know that Tomasita and Lenny from Florida are watching. Tito Puente Jr. is watching. John Dandy Rodríguez, which was with us in the last opportunity, is watching. And I want to bring out some of your other friends, because this is an evening of remembrance and friendship. So we want to invite two people who have collaborated alongside Gloria Gaynor and have traveled extensively across the world, describing their unique sounds as jazz flavored, Brazilian bounced, rock seasoned, Latin tinged, smooth groove blend of contemporary guitar driven sounds and soul searching vocals. Ladies and gentlemen, please receive the voices of Character, Karen and Richard Pasek. Karen.
Hi.
Well, look at that. What a beautiful picture. And there they go. Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
Thank you for joining us.
Great show, Pete.
Oh, no, you're great. I'm so happy to see you there, guys. There. My goodness.
Yeah.
We love this lady and we love this guy, you know?
Well, we want the audience to get to know them a little bit more.
I love Karen.
Look at that. Look at that. Even Margie's participating. Karen and Richard, how did you meet this gentleman? Tell us about that first encounter.
You want to tell him? Ricky wants to tell it.
Okay.
Well, Karen, a native New Yorker, grown up. She grew born on 111th East 111th Street.
Harlem.
Spanish Harlem girl. Me, Massachusetts. I moved to New York City. Mm-hmm. I was playing in a nightclub on 68th in Amsterdam called Sweetwater's. Oh. And I was playing and I spotted her across the dance floor at 2 a.m. She came over, her cousin and sister introduced, you got to meet this guy, Rick. I was living in the village, behind the village gate, somewhere Pete used to go play a lot of times. Right. Thompson and Bleecker. So I met Karen and I heard her say I had to take a cab, but she had her car headed back to Jersey. I said, well, I'd be glad to take a ride. I'll jump out at the Holland Tunnel. She says, okay. So we drove through Times Square. I told her I was a songwriter. I had a cassette. I put it in the car. She was singing along. So we met, we talked. I got her phone number. I jumped out of the car down in the village. And I called her 3 times. She wouldn't go off with a date. Then finally she did. Tell them, take it from there.
Okay, well, that's that little bit of a story. But to answer your question,
no, I was enjoying that part. I wanted to know that. That's excellent. But yes,
love story. But we met Pete because how did we meet Pete? Yes.
Oh.
No. I love both of it. Don't worry.
So you know, Ricky is very, very, very friendly. We're entertainers. When I'm on the stage, I'm really friendly, but as a person, I'm kind of shy and laid back and I don't have much to say. But Rick is like the town crier. He will meet everybody. He will talk to everybody. So you tell them how we met Pete.
Well, we live in the same building, and we had an artist building, and we have a little puppy similar to Miko in the background who you could see. And I used to walk the pup. Pete would walk the pup. I would see him. This is maybe 3-4 years ago. And we'd chat a little bit. And then every now and then, in his big smile, he'd see me with a guitar. And he says, oh, you play guitar? And I says, you do music? And he says, yeah, I've sang salsa. I said, okay, very nice. That's nice. And then I get his name, and then I did this to another guy, Fred Thomas, who was the bassist of James Brown, who I met, and we did a session. And then I looked him up, and I says, oh my God, he's been with James Brown for 20 years. So I plugged in Pete Bonet, and here it comes. Here comes it, bing, 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 like I hit in Las Vegas, the slot machine. Tito Puente, all this awards, salsa legend. Yeah. So I said, oh my God.
Royalty.
Such a royalty. But such a wonderful guy, warm and not bravado, and hey, with an attitude, you don't know who I am.
So humble.
So humble.
Sweet.
And his wife, Margie, and we've had different fellowships.
Yes. So these guys meet, and they hanging out together. And then, of course, I meet the beautiful Margie, and she is an incredible woman and an amazing cook too. Whenever she, got something going, I'm like, what you doing there, Marge? You're
not going to provoke me now because I'm going to get hungry.
Yes, exactly. So it's like a love story because, we met Pete. He's a wonderful guy. We all were blessed to get in this building that the town did for artists only, which is amazing because you get to fellowship with other people who are in the arts. And so you get to share and collaborate and that whole thing. And there's no better person than Pete. So then, Rick and I, we also, we do all type of gigs, but we also do senior gigs, and we sing at the senior centers and for assisted living and like so. So we did a few shows, and then we are like, okay, come on, Pete, come do some shows. So he come with us and get out there and sing for the people, and we dancing in the aisle and the whole thing. So we're fellowshipping together. We're doing street fairs together.
In the building, we started a night once a month.
Yes.
Pete and myself and Karen.
Yeah.
But we made it all inclusive to the building. Mm-hmm. Sign up if you show your talent, dance, sing, act. Right. Come on, everybody. And it would always be a small turnout of entertainers, but they'd see Pete up there and they'd see me and Karen. So we would do it. We'd have a good time. And we did a lot of local street fairs, block parties. Yeah. And every time we would do one, hey, Pete, we're going to be on this corner. We're going to be in this park. He would come up, bring your tracks, and we'd put it up. But I learned a lesson. Whenever we do that, I don't put him on first. I put him on second because he's a hard act to follow. We do our show, and I say, okay, people, because if he goes on first, people are going to be like a disappointment with all that Latin salsa.
No, listen, we're all here, and we all share the love of music. And what we're going to do right now, we're going to take a moment to enjoy your date night. This is part of your recording.
Oh, okay.
All right, so let's go to that recording, date night.
Thank you.
Oh, boy. Oh, jeez.
All done with my 9 to 5. City lights come alive. The air feels so right, 'cause we're going on a date tonight. A walk in the park, hand in hand. Stop to listen to a jazzy band. May we have a table for two? to get away, going on a late night, date night, ooh, chase the blues away. Take us uptown to a club so we can boogie down. Perfect night, nothing can go wrong, as the DJ plays our favorite song. Music playing nice and loud, grooving with a grown-in sexy crowd. Nothing like a bit of romance to the rhythm as we dance. We're going on a date night. Got to get away, going on a late night, date night. Ooh, chase the blues away.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Character, Karen and Richard Pasek.
Yes, I can't see
guys,
it.
give us a little detail, just a short detail about this tune.
Which one is it?
That's it.
We just heard Date Night.
Sorry.
That's okay. You got to put that. There you go. I knew it. Listen, we all went on a date night after that tune. We definitely it was wonderful. Congratulations.
That was very nice.
Oh,
Thank you. I put the pool tables because in the book, Pete has a friend named Chet, and he picked them up, and they had a racket with making the pool tables for $300 a week.
That was wonderful. You guys are
Yes, it
great.
was.
You guys are great. I love you guys. You guys are
Beautiful, beautiful,
And the
beautiful.
wonderful thing about this conversation that we're having this evening is that Ariel, Karen and Richard, and Pete Bonet are all very close friends. Pete, tell me a little bit about how you feel about Karen and Richard, please.
Oh my goodness, I love these guys. You know, I love them. He's so grateful. I mean, he's so graceful, and we always say hello. We always talk, and I love to hear them play. That's it. You know, they did it in my house, right here in the apartment. And she was singing right here, and for Margie's birthday, she also sang there, and Rick played. But apart from that, they are great family people. You know, they have a big family, and a bunch of kids and grandkids, and we know them all, and we love them. You know, that's it. It's love. You know,
with this gathering, we are learning to love and appreciate Karen and Richard. So I thank you for that. Pete, tell us a little bit about the Corso, the book. Tell us a little bit about that, because everybody is very curious of the content of this book and what you've detailed on it.
Well, one thing is that when I came to New Jersey, I never thought about writing the book in English, you know. It's just that we couldn't go back to Puerto Rico. Maria had hit Puerto Rico very hard, and we decided to stay in New Jersey. And then my wife says, you know, well, we haven't got too much to do, so we're promoting the book in Spanish. And she said, well, start writing the book in English. And I did. I sat in the computer, and of course they taught me how to do that. I had to get into writing, and I love to write, so we began to write the book in English. And I wanted to do it my way. You know, I don't want the book to be edited. The book in Spanish in Puerto Rico, they edited, and they also, I wanted a lot of photographs, but there's only 31 photographs on the Spanish book. The English book has 90 pages of photographs, because I don't want nobody to say, well, I don't believe it. You know, because I don't believe it either. So, you know, I put a lot of photographs there. We did the Apollo Theater. We collaborated with James Brown. Can you imagine? We collaborated with Arthur Prysock in the Apollo Theater. I wasn't there. Let me tell you about the Apollo Theater. When I was there with Mongo Santamaria, and Arthur Prysock is going on. He's going on before we are, so he's going on before Mongo. And all of a sudden I hear him cursing. He's, Mr. Prysock, you got 10 minutes. You're gonna go on in 10 minutes. And he was cursing because he had no drummer. The drummer disappeared, and he had no drummer. So I hear him angry, you know, and he's saying, "Oh my God, I can't go on. I can't go on." And I don't know if you know Arthur Prysock. He's a great jazz singer. I mean, he's a great singer. And now he has no drummer, and he's got 10 minutes. So I went to Carmelo, our timbal player, and I knew that Carmelo was a drummer. So I said, Carmelo, can you cut the, you could read music, right? He said, yeah, I could read music. I could cut the show. I said, okay. So I went to Mongo, and Mongo said, yeah, no problem. You know, so I go to, this little Puerto Rican here. I go to Arthur Prysock, and I said, Mr. Prysock, I hear you have a problem. He said, do I have a problem? My God, and he started to curse again. And I said, Mr. Prysock, our drummer could do it for you. He says, you're kidding. He says, yeah, no, Carmelo could cut the show for you. He said, really? I mean, would he mind? I said, I already spoke to him. He said, yes. And he said, well, what about Mongo? And I already spoke to Mongo, and he said, oh, it's okay. So he said, yeah, okay. So Carmelo went and boom, cut the show, and he made double money that day. Arthur Prysock paid him, and Mongo paid him. And so we became friends, Arthur Prysock and I, you know. And then I was with Mongo then. Then I went with Ray Barretto to the Apollo Theater. And now it's with James Brown. And James Brown and I became friends. And we went to Africa with James Brown, together with James Brown. So we collaborated in there also. We were in Africa in 1968. I was in Africa together with James Brown. We collaborating together. He's doing his show and I'm doing my show. And it was beautiful, you know. So all that is written in the book. And the book, like I said, has 90 pages of photographs, and the book is complete. In English, it's complete. And one day, I'm going to release it in Spanish. I'm going to release it in Spanish the same way that it is in English today.
And everyone could find the book. On where could they find the book?
Oh, the book, you can find it in Amazon. You could go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble. There's a lot of places that the book is available, you know. And but those two places, you could buy the book in there. And you could also get it from me if you want it dedicated, you know. I could do that. You could do that with the Amazon, Barnes & Noble, ebook, Porch Live book, Fish Pond, Waterstone, Google Play is everywhere. So all you got to do is ask for the book, the Corso, the Real Nuyorican Salsa Story.
Highly recommended, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to a video right now. Let's go to the second part of that presentation of Tito Puente with Pete Bonet. Let's enjoy that, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my goodness.
la traigo rica, la salsa que está acabando. Tito Puente se botó, el rey de la música latina. Hay pa' guarachar, hay para gozar. Ay, qué bonita es, mira, mira, pa' guarachar. Oiga, ay, qué bueno está, mira qué rico es. A mí se está acabando, tienes que guarachar. Castellano, qué bueno bailó. ¡Oye!
Okay. Chévere.
Whenever there is a good time, we lose track of time and then we become short of time, which is the case right now. Pete, I hope that you understand how important you are to our musical community. You are surrounded by people who love you, including myself. We are so grateful and thankful for you taking out the time to be with us. Ariel, give your final reflections.
Yes, muchas gracias, Jose. Listen, first of all, I want to say thank you guys for letting me be part of this. Thank you, Pete, for letting me be part of your life and this stage of your life. Thank you. And like I said before to you as a joke one time, I said to you, I said, Pete, how many people could say I sang for Tito Puente? It's not that many people. Not only that, which you did it with Tito Rodriguez too. Encima de eso, you didn't do it with Machito, but like you told me, you were part of the stage. Tocaron varias veces. And that, listen, there's only, I don't know how many people could say I sang with Tito Puente and Tito Rodriguez. Papi, you are amazing. And like Jose said, man, you are, estás aquí. Gracias por darme tu amistad. Thank you very much. You're welcome to my house. You know that you've been in my house. Like I said, Jose, he came to my house and right away he was singing. He's amazing. I'm telling you. Y te digo, gracias. Thank you, guys. Bless you. Listen, guys, you need to get this. You need to get this book. The book is amazing. I bought it for a good friend of mine, Willie Romero, which is the conga player for Pacheco, Celia Cruz, Conjunto Clásico, and I bought it too for Dr. Mike, and they fell in love with it. So please, whatever you can, if you could do it. Okay, Papi, thank you. Blessing everybody. Also, listen, before I leave, don't forget this, guys. We need to do this.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah, thank you, but we need to do this.
Don't leave yet. Karen and Richard Pasek, please say your reflections.
Well, I guess I'll start. I just want everybody, the whole world is a better place because Pete Bonet is in it. He's a consummate musician, an excellent human being. We are blessed that even at this, I mean, we weren't there during that time, but we're here during this time. He's still going, he's still rolling, he's still performing, he's still outdoing himself. And I absolutely agree. Get the book. We're so excited to have our signed, our autographed copy.
Yes.
Showing off, first edition.
Yes.
And we are we're sharing it. So Ricky's almost done, and then it's my turn, and we peeking in and out like that. But everything I've read is exceptional. It's very candid and very raw and pure. You know, he's from the heart. He's telling the story. Yes. So it's exciting, and so it's not a boring book that you pick up and put to the side. It's an exciting adventure that he takes you on, which is the adventure of his life. So definitely get the book. If you ever hear that he's going to be in anywhere, go. He's so wonderful. He'll meet you. He'll greet you. He's a loving human being. And we just thank God to know you.
Yes. It's just an honor to know Pete and to call him a friend. He said he dedicated to us, but we dedicate this to him. And I'm going to see you next week to buy another one because it's a perfect Christmas gift to give to somebody. Gift of giving, and nothing better. So much knowledge in here, wisdom, history. I learned a lot. I love about Watermelon Man. He's on that track with Mongo. I'm glad you told the Arthur Prysock. I have something here. It's a Playboy chip. I wanted to ask you about the Playboy Club. He has a nice legend on that. That's so funny when he talks about that. But anyhow, we love you, Pete, and it's just a blessing that you are a part of our lives and we're part of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pete, please say your final words.
Oh my goodness. First of all, I want to thank Dr. Mike, who read the book in 3 days, or he said 5 days, Pete. He read it in 5 days. And Margie Puente, Tito Puente's widow, and Tito Puente Jr.'s mom. Tito Puente Jr. bought the book, and then his mom took it away from him, and she read it in a few days, and she said she couldn't stop. So I'm so happy, and thank you, Jose Calderón. Thank you, guys. Thank you, the university. Thank you, Hostos Community College, for giving me this opportunity to bring my life. You got to read the book, the Corso, because when I had the fight with the mafia at the Corso, right there.
Don't give it away. Don't give it away. Let them read about it.
Yeah, read about it because you're gonna like it. And also it's because you got to have an education. You got to go to school. You got to learn. Do whatever you can. The music is good everywhere, whatever music. If you like an instrument, learn it. Learn it. Go to school, learn music. You know, if you want to be a doctor, fine. Go and be a doctor. You want to be a lawyer, fine. You want to be a musician, you got to be a professional. Go and learn, okay? And go to school, okay? And like Ariel said, wear the mask, okay? You got to wear a mask. We have to stay alive. We have to stay alive. And I love you. I love you guys. Every Rick and Karen and Ariel and you, Jose Calderón at Hostos University. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to bring my life here with you guys. You got to read it. When I was in Africa and all that, it's great. When I was the manager of Playboy Club, can you imagine this kid that had no shoes?
Say no more, Pete. I'd like to take the time to thank Hostos Community College and all the sponsors for this opportunity. Of course, Gregory Brown, Felix Arocho, thank you so much. Guys, are we going to end with music the way we planned it earlier?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Let's go.
Que viva la salsa, que viva la salsa.
Good note, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank all of you for taking the time to tune in the first opportunity and this opportunity. And we have one before the end of the year. That's my gift to you. Thank you so much. And we're going to end it with music the way we should. And making
Thank you, Jose. Thank you, Jose. Aquí tiene un hermanito, okay? You got a brother with you.
Lo tienes desde antes de conocerme, and you have it now. And you have it. The same for Karen and Richard. You have someone else in your lives that care for you. I'm right here.
Hermano, no tome más, porque esa mujer te dejó. Tú tienes salud y dinero, y lo que más vale, juventud. Mujeres son abundantes, analiza, y algunas tienen maldad en su corazón. Oye, mis palabras son sinceras, porque de ese mismo trago tomé yo. Oye, mis palabras son sinceras, porque de ese mismo trago tomé yo.
Hey. Pete, thank you.
Thank you.
Vaya, Thank you, everyone.
Love you. Alguna vez, mira qué lindo. De ese trago tomé yo. Consuélate como yo, que yo también tuve un amor y sufrí. Tú tienes juventud y mucho dinero. Busca otra nena que te dé consuelo. Rico para gozar y bailar.
Well, we're going to end it, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you all, my guests, Pete Bonet, Ariel Ortiz, Karen and Richard Pasek. Thank you so much. Take care, everyone. Good night. Bye.
Good night.
Good night.